Hey guys, it's Nicole. Welcome back to Chronicles of a Crafter. I just realized that I have a couple of male family members whose birthdays are coming up in a couple of weeks, and I need to make some cards to ship them out to them like ASAP. Okay, so let me just get started by saying I am going to be doing two 5x7 cards. I'm going to be using my Gemini Mini over here. This is a really tiny die cutting machine. It's made by Crafter's Companion, and it's called the Gemini Mini. So I'm going to be using that in order to chomp up some dies, make two 5x7 cards, pretty similar. Both gentlemen in my family that I'll be making these cards for have similar tastes, so that works out really well. And yeah, let's just get started. All right, so I'm using the Recollections paper pack called Earth, and these are the colors that are in that paper pack. There's 50 sheets. I just cracked this open, so I have 49 more sheets to play with, and I'm just going to cut this one down just a little bit. This is an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of cardstock, and it's 65 pound or 176 GSMs. I'm just going to cut probably like a ½ inch off, if that. Okay, so about that much. And then I'm going to grab my scoreboard and I'm going to score it in half to make this card, and then I'll make another cut on there. So right there I just cut off, it was 8.5 by 11. I cut it down a little bit more than ½ inch, so it's about 10 3/8. And let's see, so let's just consider it being 10 1/4, 10 3/8. I'm gonna score it here at 5 1/8. Okay, and fold that over, and then I'll remove the extra little piece here. And yeah, and then we will cut it down to a 5x7 card. Just trying to get it nice and even. You consider that all pages arrive to your to your home even when it gets here, but sometimes they're not always exactly 8.5 by 11. And considering I just cut piece off, I don't know, maybe I can say it wasn't even to begin with. Alright, and I'm going to cut this down to about 7 inches. So let's mark where 7 inches. So in order for it to fit into this 5x7 envelope, I'm going to need to cut it down to about 7. So right about there. And I'll mark it. So right about there. Okay. I'm using my tiny guillotine, and it only goes up to 5. And then I went ahead and put a couple of more notches over here, 5 1/4 and then 5 1/2, but it does not go to 7. Alright, so then this card will now definitely fit into this envelope, right? Nice and square. Okay, I have another card. I'm going to do the exact same thing, cut it down to a size that can fit into this envelope. So I think it's about 5x7. Okay, so I've cut my two cards down to 5x7. I'm going to use some craft paper, which I've also cut down. This is a little bit smaller than the actual card itself, so I'm going to just mat this on here, but I want to tuck these corners into the inside part of the card. So let me just go ahead and show you guys how I'm going to do that. I open up my card, and I'm going to use my little tag making device, which is just an old rewards card, and I'm going to mark 4 spots here on the card itself in the corners so that I can cut it with my craft knife. So I'm just going to put a little mark on all 4 corners, and I'm just using a pen to make these marks, but I'll go in with the craft knife afterwards to actually cut it. So you got to remember, when you're doing one side of your card, you flip the card, this little gift card, over to get to the other side with the same angle. You know what I mean? I know you know what I mean. Alright, so yeah, those are my 4 marks that I'm going to make in order to cut little slits in this card. Let me grab my ruler so that I don't go too deep into the cutting mat. I just need a little slit. So you'll see, like right there, there's like a little slit right there. Okay, so I'm just going to do that on all 4 sides, and then we will tuck in our matted craft paper. I'm sure by the time you guys see this video, I would have mailed these cards off already, but I tend to wait until the last minute to get things done. Alright, so yeah, those will slide right up in there, and then these 2 down here will slide in at the bottom. Okay. And if your slits aren't wide enough and you have something that looks like this, that just means you need to just widen the slits just a little bit. Try not to go too close to the edges, because you don't want to cut that the slit open. So I'm just going to bring this one up a little bit closer to the center of the card, and bring that one up closer to the center of the card. Yeah, I think that should do it. Okay, and then slide that one in and slide that one in. It's better. It's not as bulky as it was, but if that's the case, all you got to do is shave a little piece off. Right off the edge, like so. And this should have done the trick right here. Okay, yep. Now that's perfect, okay? So I've already done my other card, this one and this one, my 2 5x7 cards. And now we're going to do some die cutting. So I'm going to use the opposite color for the opposite card, like so. And I'm just going to use some of this stuff right here. So I'm going to just stamp my stamp onto this card first. Alright, so I have my die set on the paper. I'm just going to use a little piece of washi to hold everything in place, and I'm going to run this through the Gemini Mini, and we'll cut this out really quickly. I think like right about there. This one's a little tricky because you can't see where you stamped, you know, but I'm hoping that's the spot. Alright, let me bring in the Gemini, and we'll just run this straight through and cut ourselves a vest. Oh, I can also cut a hat at the same time. I can cut a couple fish at the same time. So let's just do that. And it just requires more washi to hold it in place while you do that. Now, I've done it without washi, but I found that It's just a little bit better to be safe than sorry, you know. So let's do a couple of these fish. This guy lost his nose, but I think you get the picture. Let me see, maybe I'll try this guy down here. Okay, and this guy right here. Alright, so I'm just going to add a couple more pieces of washi on here, and then we'll run it through the Gemini. I like the Gemini better than most other die cutting machines simply because of this thing. This case has like a folding, it's like a hinged case right here, and it makes things so much easier when you're cutting multiples. You don't have to worry about it slipping and sliding in the in that little sleeve. I don't think I'm going to get all the way down to that other fish, so I'm just going to remove that. Yeah, so I removed the bottom fish. It's not going to fit in there at the same time with these others. So I'm just going to crank this through. And cut out what we've got. Really cute, right? Alright guys, I got all my die cuts cut out, and I'm gonna just start layering them here on the fronts of these cards and on the inside, and then I'm also going to stamp a little sentiment on there as well. So some of the die cuts, it does not really line up all that well, and when that happens, you can just go in with a pen and fill in the sections that you know should have been cut with this with the die cut. So this little section right here that I stamped, and it does not really come through with the die. So I'm just going to fill this section in with my pen because I know I stamped it right there. Okay, so yeah, that's that. Pretty much everything else worked out fairly well. I am going to embellish this jacket right here with another pen. Just put some like shadow marks on here, on the pockets, probably underneath the flap of the pocket. You can put a little bit of a shadow, you know, just to embellish it so that it looks a little bit more real instead of just stamped. And let's see, let me zoom you guys in just a little bit more so you can see what I'm doing. So like right under here, I'll put some shadows of the pockets, you know, the opening of the pocket, and just add some stitch marks on there just to make it look a little bit more like fabric instead of paper, you know. Under here there's a pocket. Okay, and I just need to get on the ball and stop playing around. Okay, so let's start gluing some of these things down. I'm probably going to place this guy right here. I am going to place this jacket like right on here with this hat. Okay, so that'll go something like so. And on the inside I will put some fish. Okay, so for this one I'll do something similar, if not the same thing, except this one doesn't have a hat. So I'll just angle that a little bit more, place that there. And you're just playing with the layout, right? Nothing is really set in stone until you start gluing things down. So yeah, I was just playing with the layout. I think this guy needs a hat. It looks a little odd. Maybe I'll come back with a hat later on. and put that on there. But that's just pretty much how that's gonna go for now. Maybe I will put a little sentiment right down here. So yeah, I'll just stamp this right down at the bottom there. Oops, it's upside down. Typical Nicole. All right, so yeah, this sentiment will go like right here. And on the inside, we'll I'll probably you know, write happy birthday and or stamp happy birthday in there. Okay, so that's how that's gonna go. Just have to play with the layout until you get it exactly the way you want it. I'm just gonna use art glitter glue because it's here and it dries fast. So, and the tube is almost empty. Okay, so just a little bit of glue. Don't need a whole lot. And this jacket needs a little bit of glue as well. And I will get a little bit of glue on the back of this fly fishing reel. This is the kind of die that normally I would just put a little bit of glue on my wrist and then just slide the die cut through the glue. But because it's a lot faster than doing, especially those intricate dies with lots of little cuts and slits and holes, and it just makes it a little bit faster. But this one's not so bad. And wherever there is excess, just blot it and it'll dry clear. Okay, so that I'll set aside for now. I'm going to place this in the exact same position as the previous because I think I'm going to come back with a hat, because I think it's missing a little something, you know. So yeah, I think I'll go cut a hat from my die cuts and add it to this project as well. And then here, let's just stamp on here. This one says you're a real great guy, and real is spelt, or really is spelt, I'll do this one first. Really is spelt like a reel for a fishing reel. Okay, so that'll go like that. And the other one I think I'm gonna stamp says, you are so fly. That's funny. Okay, so I'll stamp that one closer to here. Cool, not too bad. And then on the inside is where I'll put these little fish, and I'll stamp happy birthday, and that'll be it. Like, that's pretty much the gist of it. Let me grab my happy birthday stamp, and then we'll stick some of these fish on the inside right here. Alright, so let's just wrap this up. This has been a fun little project. I went ahead and die cut another hat for this card. I also stamped inside this one. I'm not really happy the way the stamping came out. I mean, it's nothing wrong with it. It's just sort of flat, you know. So what I did was I die cut a happy birthday die, and I puffy glued it to, or puffy stick it to the stuck it to the card. So there's that. I'm gonna go ahead and put down these little I don't know what these are. They're like lures, little lures, fishing lures. And I have so many fish here. I don't know what I'm gonna do with all these fish, but I'm just gonna place them anywhere on here like so. I don't think I've seen too many fish that are the same size and shape in the same place before, like this, you know. So I'm just gonna scatter them around. So yeah, because I didn't like the way this stamped happy birthday came out, I went ahead and added some balloons, another die cut that I have down there at the bottom, and I'm just going to place a few of these fish of different colors and shapes right about there. Okay, so this card is looking a little nuts. This one, I'm also going to do the same thing. I'm going to use a different lure and just pop it in anywhere on the card. And yeah, as you can see, like, things start going awry, and then, you know, I have to like compensate for it. So that's how the balloons ended up there. I mean, obviously, you know, it's your birthday. You didn't have to have balloons and a fish, so that makes no sense whatsoever. But it's a good thing these are going to family members, so it really doesn't matter. I don't think they're that picky. And you know, one's going to my dad, the other one's going to my grandpa, so it should be fine. Nobody's gonna really care. I don't think they are going to mind one bit that all these fish are blue or yellow, and there are random birthday balloons in the corner of the card. And yeah, I think everything's gonna be okay. All right. So I'm just gonna, let's lay a fish up here, and we'll place another one next to it or on top of it. There, not bad, right? That doesn't look too bad. All right, so I went ahead and made my family members birthday card. So this one says, "You're a really great guy." And on the inside it's stamped happy birthday. So that's how this one looks. And the other one, it says, "You're so fly." And on the inside I die cut happy birthday. And I'm going to add the lures to this one as well, or at least one lure, and some fish. And whoops, no, don't dry yet. Okay, yeah, so I'll just add some fish right there. And it just gets so crazy, like, you know, when you're rushing to do something because you almost missed the deadline type of thing. Yeah, I have to get this one in the mail like right now. So there's that. And I will place these little guys. I'll place one of these right up here, and I'll place another one. It's like right behind it or right next to it. Now I'll place this one up here. So let me set that down. All right, so guys, yeah, really simple to make, two really quick, fast, and in a hurry cards that needs to go out right away. And that's just basically how I did it. All right, so I hope you guys have a super crafty day. Don't forget to leave me a comment down below if you guys ever have this situation where you're rushing to make something for, you know, a birthday or a wedding, or, you know, something that you're, you know, you forgot you got invited to, or it's like, oh my gosh, I gotta make a card. All right, yeah, so just drop a comment down below, let me know. Don't forget, guys, my links are all in the description box. It's all on one link. You can just click that one link. It'll take you directly to all of my information, including my Instagram, Pinterest, and other links, as well as my Amazon storefront. Guys, I want to thank each and every one of you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. The subscriber count is way up. Thanks for giving these videos thumbs up. Thanks for leaving comments in the down below. Also, guys, thanks to each and every one of you for hitting the bell for notifications after you've subscribed, because that's the only way you'll know when a new video comes out. Stay naturally curious, and I'll talk to y'all in the next video. Bye!